We got Mauricio in the building, right on the other side, though, man.
Switching sides today was good. How we
Man.
doing? Sports
We
Wave.
just missing one body, so we
You
just
know.
had to alternate in,
And
pinch
we got
hitters.
Enzo as well.
Pinch hitters.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So thank you guys for joining us today on Sports Wave, man.
Sports Wave.
It's a very interesting week that we got going on. We're gonna start off with Britney Griner, still in prison in Russia, and they're talking about doing a prisoner swap for her.
Really?
There's an arms dealer that the U.S. has.
Heard about that.
He's Russian, and they're just like, we'll give you this guy if you give us Britney Griner back, and they need her because she's in WNBA. And I think the
they've been
WNBA just
talking
started.
about, like, the NBA was talking about they got hostage negotiators even covering this, trying to get this to get solved. But it sucks, man. It's been like, what, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that. She's been behind bars, and it sucks because I mean, it's a different country and all that, so you got to be aware of what you're doing when you're going to a different
I
country.
mean, but she's done it before, and I think the fact that Russia knew they were gonna
Sensitive times.
invade Ukraine, it was a more of a thing to kind of political prisoner type deal.
Yeah, it's like we have a bargaining chip, if you will.
Right, leverage. They think they got too much leverage. I mean, sucks to say, it's just an athlete that plays basketball. But I don't think, honestly, bro, I feel like if the United States really gave a fuck, they would have done something sooner.
I mean, yeah.
If it's really like they cared, they would have been like, all right, let's like go get her out. But they
I
don't
think
care,
we spoke
bro.
about this. I mean, if LeBron was in there, bro, they go get him immediately, bro. They ain't
In a
waiting for
heartbeat,
nobody.
bro.
You know what I mean? So I think they gotta look out for the same because she's basically like the LeBron of the WNBA. You know, she has a lot of pull.
In a say, yeah, for
You know what I mean?
sure.
She has a big
definitely.
star, is what I'm trying to say. You know,
She's definitely a huge star for the NBA. I
So-
mean, she was in the finals before all this happened. So.
yeah. So it sucks that she's going through this, and again over just an oil pen. You know, what I mean, she didn't even bring no weed or anything. And I get it when you're like bringing in an amount where it's like it's suspect you could be dealing, but it's like, yo, it's personal use. Like you said, she's probably done it before. He probably caught it on her before. And
Well,
didn't do
the
anything
thing,
to
this is
her.
a crazy thing. I saw the details, and it was basically an empty cartridge, bro. It didn't even have weed in it.
Bruh.
It just they know that it had residue of weed, of CBD or THC or something, but I
Yo.
don't know.
It's crazy though because when she gets released and she comes back,
She's not going back to Russia.
she's not going back to Russia. But at the same time, you think she's gonna come out with some kind of like documentary or something of her time, like being behind bars and all that stuff, like.
Nah, not immediately. Maybe down the line eventually. I heard that
There'll be
the
a
process
podcast,
is
for sure.
such a long process that she might lose her NBA prime. I mean, her WNBA prime.
That sucks.
So
That sucks a lot. But yeah, that's what's going on with the
I say when you
WNBA.
travel, you gotta know your laws.
Yeah, you gotta know where you're going to, and you gotta know your laws. But up next we got Dodgers. Yesterday they had a bad game.
I feel like last time I went to El Salvador and I got searched because they knew I had blood in my shit, bro.
Man, I get searched from TSA, not even El Salvador, honestly. But yeah, the Dodgers right now, they won today. They destroyed the Nationals. But yesterday they lost like in the last moments of the game. Max Muncy had an error where the ball went basically through his legs and whatnot, and he hasn't been having a good year. He got injured last year, and he was a crucial part of the team. And I feel like if we would have had him, we probably would have made a deeper run. But it sucks to see Max Muncy going through this slump. But at the same time, we have a game like that, and then today we have a game where we go 10-1. And there's just so many games in baseball where, you have to go through like a 10-game slump for it to really affect you and to really derail your season and whatnot. But yeah,
It has happened. It could definitely happen too.
Oh, definitely. But it's just crazy right now because both LA teams, if you will, are doing really good.
I believe the Dodgers are in first place, in the NL West.
Yeah, and I think the Angels were in first place with the AL West. I don't know if they've dropped or anything, but I'll check that out right now. Yeah, the Astros are a game ahead of them, game and a half ahead of them. So the Angels are doing pretty decent. And while the Dodgers are in first place, a game ahead of the Padres. But this is the Max Muncy area that I'm about to show you guys right now here on the screen.
They're playing the Phillies, huh? I like that hat right there. The Phillies guy right there. Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
And that cost them the game right there.
Damn.
That was literally the game right there. So
Rookie mistakes.
Yeah, and it's just a shame for Max Muncy too, because he's at the same time. I mean, he shouldn't be doing that, but isn't he usually a first baseman, Byron?
Yeah, actually, he is.
And he looks like he's on second there. It looks weird. Or was he in the outfield and they just had him real pressed in?
He's a second baseman or first baseman?
I've always seen him on first base.
He's probably just trying to make a play that they brought into.
But nonetheless, the Dodgers in their last 10 games, they are 8-2. In away, they're 13-8. At home, they're 15-5. So they're pretty dominant. They're the favorite to go to the World Series and win it all.
The Dodgers are the favorites?
Yeah.
Against who?
I'm not sure against who, but they're just the favorite to win it all. I would have to see like who's number 2 and all that stuff. But as of right now, they're like the favorite in Vegas to go ahead and win the World Series. And that's that also the not the World Series, but the All-Star game is going to be here in LA this year. So we'll have the home run derby and all that type of stuff here.
Let's go.
Yes, I'd be down, bro. It's expensive. I'd be down to go like to a home run derby just to see them like all night. You know what I mean?
Pause.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting. So it's gonna be here in LA, huh?
Yeah, here in LA, and then it's cool because now at Dodger Stadium, I know Byron, you've been there before.
Never been.
Before, like you would go to the.
Nobody
ends
wants
of
to
the
pop my cherry and buy me a ticket and go.
You'd get to the ends of the stadium, and then you'd have to
Pause.
walk back the other way.
Pause.
But as of this season, they've made it where you can walk around the whole stadium without having to walk back. And
Why?
Because they constructed that. Before it was like you would get to the ends and you would have to. It would end there, and you would have to walk back to get to the other side. But now you could walk through the whole thing, so it's pretty dope. And the last time I remember last time that you went with us, right, Byron?
Yeah, for fireworks.
For firework night, and then we went on the field. We're like on the grass
With Jess and Martha.
Yeah, it was dope.
And some other people.
Yeah, so I mean, I know you say this where like you whenever you see videos, you see fights and all that stuff. Like, yeah, bro, but it's just as long as you chilling and all that stuff, you
I'm
level
gonna fight
headed.
somebody, bro. I just
you'll
don't
be
want to fight
fighting.
nobody,
No,
bro.
you're not gonna fight
I
nobody.
don't want to
bro.
fight nobody, bro.
gonna
Somebody
fight
bumping
nobody.
into my shoes, somebody bumping into my shoulder.
You
I
ain't
want
gonna
to
fight.
swing on nobody. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna do shit. But
I just don't want to make my brother fight nobody. Matter of fact, because he my security.
So have you guys seen this
He thinks he's a UFC fighter sometimes.
this backlash?
He'd be like, "You, who the fuck is that guy?"
Hey, let's talk now.
Fucking Maori.
But
The way he said it.
Hey.
Let's talk now.
send me location. Smash.
Parking lot right now, You son of a bitch, And I'll be like, so a huevo, so a los huevos, pues.
But
my
but have you
button
guys
off
seen
the
this?
Annie.
Do you guys see the photo of Bronny James at prom?
Man.
Yeah.
You see all the
We
comments?
gonna talk about
section?
this, bro. You
I
don't
haven't
talk
seen
about
that.
this, bro. The disrespect.
The
What
disrespect.
did they say? What did they say?
Well, everybody's upset that he's not going with his sister. She was going with a white woman at the prom, and I'm like, let the man live.
Oh.
The man
I just
live.
feel like we live in a day and age where the media and people, for that matter, also are trying to point fingers to.
he's trying to scrutinize anything they can, man.
But not only that, but it's just like this thing where it's like, I personally, I might be biased because I'm interracial in a interracial relationship myself, but to be honest, I don't understand the whole thing of like stay within your culture. You know, just because it's all preferences, man. You know, I like chocolate ice cream. You might like vanilla ice cream. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
But the thing at the end of the whole thing about the ice cream, it all tastes the same, brother. And it all
I
comes
beg to
out,
differ. But what I'll say though,
bro.
for sure,
It tastes the same, bro. Like I'm saying in the sense of like they're both fulfilling for what they're used for. You feel me? Like
I got you.
you get if you eat vanilla ice cream and you eat chocolate ice cream, bro.
It's just funny though.
You still gonna get that like, it's good for the heat. You feel me? In the heat, in a hot ass sun in
Definitely
California.
different flavors though.
You know what I'm saying?
But I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? If you catch my drift, people,
the
if you catch my
satisfaction
drift.
of the
There's gonna be people out there that be like,
the heat
if
is
you
what we're talking about. But it was funny is that people were in the comments were like, "There's only like 30 black girls that go to that school." I'm like, "Cat, bro. I've been there. there's more than 30
There's
black
a
girls.
that basketball team and there's a soccer team.
There's
so
a
many
good
teams
amount.
that they got. There's a diverse. That's a diverse school.
Very
first of all.
diverse school. Very,
But
very diverse school.
honestly, people were talking out of ass, and you know what?
Straight up their
His
ass.
dad took a white girl to prom.
And then he married a black girl.
So what does that say? That
Exactly.
it's just a prom date, people. Why
Straight
are
up.
people making this a big deal? It's not like he asked her to marry him because that's not what happened.
Not at all.
But who's to say?
Who's to say? Who's to say he didn't put on the clap cleats? You know what I'm saying?
Or
Mhm.
that he didn't go to, she didn't go on a pony ride. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? I
But
don't know.
it's
But-
prom night, man. He's a young man, and he's has full right to go out with whoever he wants to.
And what-
Shit, if she was an illegal alien, people were gonna talk shit to her.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Damn.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. But
He went out with Sally with the good hair, or Becky with the good hair, and people talking shit. Like, come on, bro. That's really what people were trying to like. That's what it is, bro. It's like, but to me, it's like, doesn't really matter. It's who he wanted, who he asked out, and that's who you decided to ask out. Honestly, she was pretty. She's a pretty young
yeah,
lady.
exactly.
But kudos to Bronny James, man. Enjoy your prom date. I didn't go to mine personally.
And my advice to anybody is, unless you know that girl's like she's gonna hold it down the road, go with someone that like you can look back and be like,
You enjoyed it?
you know what I mean? And
I
it's
personally,
not like,
I mean, don't be like me and be like, oh, I don't deserve it, even though you deserve it because you've been in school for 18 years of your fucking life.
honestly though, the highlight of prom for me was the after party.
I'm gonna have to be a chaperone one day just to
The actual prom was whack. If I'm being totally honest with you.
chaperone somebody's prom event so I can be like, yeah, this is what it was, huh?
Yeah, it's not.
I didn't miss out on much, huh?
But
What was whack about it? Like the music or
you
the
didn't
vibe
go.
or
You,
what?
you didn't go by them.
Nah, I didn't go to mine.
You didn't ask nobody out, did you?
Nah, I didn't, yeah, I didn't want to go.
It's all
Why?
good,
Because you
though.
didn't want to ask nobody out.
It's all
Yeah.
good though.
So a mixture of all that.
But Tank Davis is fighting this weekend. He has.
Oh yeah,
gonna be able to
Romero,
fight
the
with
guy that he
Romero,
was supposed to fight that got the
Yeah.
sexual allegation.
all that stuff, and it's just crazy because this is the thing. This is his first fight without Mayweather Promotions. This is his last fight with
Shut
Mayweather
up.
Promotions. Yeah, he
Look that
confirmed
up.
that.
Let me see.
He confirmed that it's gonna be.
He's gonna make his own promotion next.
Yeah, or he's just not with Mayweather Promotions at the moment.
Nah, he's gonna make his own promotion if he's gonna do that. Because that's just the most economical thing to do.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, I think he might just follow in the footsteps of Mayweather. So right here, Tank Davis confirms plans to leave Mayweather Promotions after Romero.
Dang.
So
Alright,
that's
so
gonna
put it-
happen. And then
put
he
it-
also
put it-
says
put
he
it- put
wants
it-
to
put it-
fight
put it-
Devin
put it-
Haney if he beats Cambos.
Let me see why. Who's next? What's he gonna do? Let's see what it says.
They said it don't necessarily have to be leave Mayweather Promotions. It's just about becoming the man. That
Handle
man.
your own
handle your own
responsibility. Yep, exactly.
Your own
Make his own
priorities.
thing. Control. Yep.
So that's what's gonna happen there. What do you
Who
think
you
is
got
gonna
this
happen with this?
The guy's taller than him. The guy doesn't know how to talk and shit talk. He doesn't know. No, he's not a good promoting fighter. But I still think that Tank is gonna unleash a can of whoop ass. So
No doubt. I think he's gonna show that those haymakers that he got, those vicious
did you guys see
uppercuts
that?
he has and
Did
all
you
that
see
stuff.
that there's a rematch between Triple G and Canelo?
Regardless, even though that
Ooh.
Canelo lost his last fight,
Yeah. Well, that's for the middleweight.
it's because I had heard
belt.
that the agreement was that they both had to win their fight.
No, it's already been
prior,
agreed. It's been today is
so that
agreed.
they would fight in September.
I was actually talking to Kenyon Martin Jr. Shout out to my boy Kenyon Martin from the Houston Rockets, and he showed me that they're in talks, or I think it got confirmed. And then after that fight, Canelo wants to fight the rematch with the guy he just lost to. But I had also seen a tweet or something on Instagram where it was Canelo had called out Earl Spence if he wanted that to come up to 168. So interesting what could happen, man. I don't know. Canelo, the weight cut to where he's at right now, I think in that fight he was like at 185, 190 maybe after regaining, the electrolytes. But I don't know, man. This guy's a lot of things he could do.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, but you know what's really crazy in the soccer free agency?
Before we get there though,
No, I want to get there right
let's
now.
go. Let's get.
No, I wanna get
let's
there right now.
kill our UFC talk.
It's what you
We gotta kill that way with that
That shit was
first
boring.
football.
This
load.
shit was boring, man. I need another pay-per-view event, man. This is
We did
ridiculous.
have Eagle FC go take place this weekend, which is Khabib's his fight promotion, and he had two former UFC heavyweights going at it with Jorgen De Castro versus JDS, And it's funny because before this, he was already trying to promote JDS versus Fedor Emelianenko. He was like, "Oh, you guys are former champion, and he can fight Fedor." And then he was gonna talk to Bellator. And then JDS actually ends up dislocating his shoulder in the fight,
That shit was crazy.
and loses the fight. So that's what happened for Eagle FC there. And this is also on the eve of Tony Ferguson saying that he wants to coach an ultimate fighter season against Khabib. And Khabib actually, and it's funny. I dislike when managers speak for their athletes and whatnot. And in this case, Ali Abdul Aziz did that for Khabib, and he said that he'd beat Tony in anything, even if it was a pissing competition.
Ouch.
But then again, Khabib comes and speaks for himself, and he's like, "I'm down. Speak to your bosses and let's make it happen." You know.
Khabib's willing to fight Tony Ferguson now?
No, he's willing to coach the Ultimate Fighter against him, and I think that'd be dope to watch. It
But
would
don't they usually fight? The coaches fight.
And I think if you're able to do things the right way, maybe it happens. And then even Tony was like, if you don't really want to fight like that anymore, we can do anything. We can do jiu-jitsu, we can do wrestling, we can do anything.
How on the UFC? They're not gonna
Maybe
do it
not
on
in the UFC, but in just something, maybe even in Eagle FC, because that's something that
He
Khabib said.
He said coming to you.
He was like, if you can't figure it out there, we can do it over here. But I just like the idea of the Ultimate Fighter with those two, because we have seen it where they don't fight. For example, when Conor, he was the coach, he didn't fight Uriah Faber at the end. So it's been done before, and I just think
I think that was one of the weaker ones. So.
it was very entertaining.
It was entertaining, but it was weak because of no ending. The ending wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
in that aspect, yeah. So,
but it's
been
always
done
like
before.
good to see like them going at it, and then the ending is like a fight. They get to at least.
Yeah,
know?
like in the current one where now we have Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes. That one's coming
I haven't seen it.
right now. This last week was heavyweights fighting, so it was
Mm.
pretty interesting. It was a good one. But this weekend we had Holly Holm in the main event. She had a lot of significant strikes versus her opponent, and one of the judges gave it to her, and then two of the other ones didn't. And basically, in my eyes and the scorecards eyes, she basically got robbed. Not in the scorecards eyes, but just when it comes to her significant strikes and everything that she was throwing and her activity, she got robbed in that split decision. And I think that's the biggest problem right now in the UFC. I don't think it's the fighter pay. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's the rules that take precedent.
The gloves, the rules.
The gloves, not so much. They can address that, but I feel like I like that.
Bro,
aspect.
there's a lot of eye poking I don't like.
Yeah, I feel on that aspect, yes.
That's also part of rules
But-
and all that. So I think,
But
you know,
I just
fix
feel like
that issue
the
with
way that
gloves.
it's judged, better said.
In what sense?
So they're using
Like different commissions in different areas and
Not-
different.
It's more just the judges, bro, because they're judging using the boxing style of you know what I mean of things. You know that's the point system they're using, and I think in MMA
I think it's just because it's the easiest.
I think it's also kind of like what you said is what the commission accepts at
Do
the
you
moment.
think that was why Holly Holm lost?
Um,
She was kind of winning the fight.
yeah, she was, bro. In certain aspects, I
That's
just
the only
pointed
fight
towards that.
I caught. I
and I
missed
think
the
that
Argentina
MMA
Brazil fight, which I need to see highlights and put them off.
I think MMA also needs to have its own set of judges. They can't have these judges that are just like complete novices. You know, you have great former referees, you have great former fighters that can kind of be those people, I feel.
But I feel like the fighters, you can't have fighters because they're gonna be biased.
I think there's a good amount of unbiased fighters there. Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, CTE, bro.
Not at all, bro.
Always at
but
all,
again,
bro.
a good
Always at
a
all,
good
bro.
amount of referees, like even John McCarthy, that's no longer refereeing. He'd be a great judge, you know.
Pero que le den el trabajo, otra cosa.
And a lot of other fighters, like I said, former fighters. Obviously, we're not gonna go and get someone like a Chuck Liddell to be judging fights, but
CTE again.
yeah, exactly. That was someone like that.
Es que te estoy diciendo,
I
Tito
can see
Ortiz
that.
tampoco.
But we would go get someone maybe that hasn't experienced things like that. Someone like Kenny Florian that did fight, but you know is commentating now and would be a better voice, something like that. Just someone like that's a random name that I just threw out there. Just, but that's just one big issue that's going right now. And then that Brazil Argentina fight with Pereira versus Ponzinibbio. Pereira's just freaking huge, bro.
Can you show me the highlights
He's
on that?
really
'Cause I didn't
big
watch that
compared
fight.
to Ponzinibbio. So
Isn't Pereira the one that got into it with George Masvidal this weekend too?
Yeah, I don't know why he name dropped him, and that whole thing was just very very silly to me.
I think it's it's the latter. What George says.
Yeah, the fact that he'd use his wife to
Try to get a fight going.
trying to get a fight going, and then it's funny because she even came out and said that she would never do something like that. Like, it's a business account that she has, and that many people have access to it.
It doesn't make sense.
This, and that. Yeah, I'm putting on the highlights for you so you can see there. It's
¿Quién ganó pues? Pereira.
yeah, Pereira ended up winning.
By decision or
Yeah, by decision.
el brasilero le ganó.
Yeah, so he was just moving around a lot and was making sure that Ponzinibbio wouldn't do anything to really close in the space and whatnot. But it wasn't like a dominant victory or anything like that by any means. But yeah, it's funny how he used this opportunity to go after Masvidal. But that was that fight for the most part. An overall a decent card that we had that weekend. Usman is not clear to fight yet. He says his hand is still fragile basically, and he can re-injure it if he were to go back into training. So I think I'm putting this out in the air, an interim title fight at 170. What do you think, Enzo? And we have a hot commodity right now.
Interim title.
Yeah, because Usman can't fight right now, so we're not gonna strip him, but obviously we'll allow two other
Between
people.
who and who?
That's the question, and I
Because
think
if it's an interim, it'd be cool to see. Okay, who's Usman gonna fight? Maybe somebody he hasn't fought or a rematch, but
I don't want to see a rematch. He needs to fight.
I
a new
don't
opponent.
also feel that the interim would do any good because whoever's gonna take it is gonna like devalue. Because if it's a rematch, it's devaluing the interim to me.
So I think it needs to be like Khamzat versus Leon Edwards versus Khamzat.
That's a good fight.
Because they're the top two.
All right,
now.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The wild card is always Conor McGregor. Obviously, we've seen him bulk up. We've seen him get super big right now to the fact where he can just easily cut to 170. So what do you think? I think the ball, like Michael Scott says, the balls are in his court for Conor right now because it's the same
to fight
case
Usman though.
to fight the interim title.
For Usman?
Interim title, bro. He doesn't fight Usman first. He fights.
Yes,
for the
I know,
interim
but
title.
for Usman eventually then?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
hell
this
no.
guy is talking about going up to 170. We see where he's at right now, physically speaking, and then we also have what's gonna happen for Oliveira next at 155. You know, Beneil Dariush, he says he can't fight Makhachev
Oliveira
until,
got stripped. So
yeah, but at the same time, Dana White said that like he's next in line. If he wins, he's still the next in line. So it's for sure Charles gonna fight for the title, but against
I think
who?
Charles fighting Connor is better than.
Those options are there because
then
Beneil Dariush is supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, and he says he can't go until Abu Dhabi in October, I believe. So that puts Islam on the sidelines, or unless he fights someone else. Like my other question here is, who's next for Dustin Poirier? He can fight someone at 170. He's calling out a
To me,
plethora of
I
people.
feel Dustin should just go. Dustin and Gaethje should run it back.
Nah, I wouldn't want to see that, me personally.
Or
Dustin
Michael
beat him.
Chandler and Dustin.
I think Dustin Michael Chandler is a great fight at 155. If he goes up to 170,
Damn, but that fool
him and
looks
Kobe would be
huge
dope.
at 170.
Dustin and Kobe Covington, what do you think about that?
That's a hell of a fight.
They're
too.
former also training partners and stuff
That's
like
a hell
that.
of a fight.
So even Dustin and I mean I think Tony needs some time off, but yeah, there's so much interesting things when it comes to the 155 title for Oliveira. Dustin Poirier, where does he fit in this? Nate Diaz, where does he fit in all of this stuff? You know, there's so many names and so many things that as of right now, there's not a main event for the July 30th card, which is in Dallas. We do have one, which is for International Fight Week, which is Adesanya versus Whitaker, which is Cannonier, sorry.
What? That's right. That fight's still supposed to happen.
So there's a lot of things there, but going on to the NBA right now, we had the Celtics.
I had to change my picks, guys.
The Celtics are about to even out the series against the Miami Heat in Boston. You okay over there, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, just make sure.
Pasame esa mierda.
I thought I was gonna have to go perform CPR over there or some. So yeah, the Celtics
are
are
just tight, or is it not official
they're
yet?
about to tie it. Yeah, I mean,
They're putting a Nash whipping.
Putting a whooping ass. Can of whoop ass. And then the Golden State Warriors also put a can of whoop ass on the Dallas Mavericks last night. They're up 3-0, and they have the opportunity to go ahead and.
I thought I had
sweep.
Luka doing more.
It's
and
hard, bro.
Luka needs for three. It's a three-headed monster. You just need more help.
It's way too much.
And then the other thing is they don't have a solid big. And Looney's going to work with them, bro.
That's
offensive
what I was telling.
rebounds.
I was
and
telling
just,
someone at my church yesterday. I was like, imagine Luka had someone like an AD, a healthy. I mean, anybody having a healthy AD would be dope. But I feel like if Porzingis could have been healthy,
I'm starting to call that shit
that shit would have been dope for that.
I mean, as a Laker fan, I've been starting to say this, and I don't want to be the one to admit this, but honestly, the fact that AD had 4 months off during the bubble is why we got that championship, guys.
everybody was in the same circumstances. Everybody got 4 months off, not just AD.
But he was an injury-prone player.
Oh, no doubt.
Come on,
But
not everybody in the NBA is an injury-prone player.
But everybody
why
got
you can
that
see-
same rest off, and I think it's just that. I remember what we saw during the pandemic, and then how seriously LeBron and him took it, like to still
That's
stay
what
in
I'm
shape and all that
saying,
stuff.
But
So
that's because you have 4 months off. That all right?
no,
Let's
for sure.
stay in this.
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody
like,
was
this
in that
is-
same position. Joel Embiid, that's also injury prone, was in that same position.
no,
all
because
these
you didn't have
people-
LeBron James.
No, but you had 4 months off, and
Still not having LeBron
okay,
James, bro.
No doubt. But we're talking about Anthony Davis having 4 months off, right?
So AD being 4 months off and having LeBron James has got the Lakers another ring. Let's just be like
okay, so I mean,
that's just a fact.
at the end of the day,
an injury-prone
the-
player. Look, he
I
this
understand,
season,
but
last two.
what you're pointing out is I don't really see a groundbreaking thing, because at the end of the day, everybody had that time off. Yeah, they didn't have LeBron, but LeBron is that's the one like very good bonus you get when you have LeBron. You're gonna kind of be in that contention spot, especially at that time when I mean he was also coming off of the groin injury the year before we got AD. So I think that also benefited him. Like I said, it benefited everybody in the league. I just feel like certain players, like the Clippers, are like,
So
oh, we
you're
don't want to
just
be in the
proving
bubble.
my point,
We don't
bro.
want to be in the bubble.
You're just proving my
I think it
point.
was all a mentality thing though, because
But
we'll
you're
get
just proving my point.
what
by
happened in
saying
the
that
bubble.
LeBron had a groin injury and he came back and had more 4 months off to be fresher. You're
and
just
everybody,
proving my point.
but yeah, but
So everybody was fresher and they still didn't win.
They did so. I don't
So
think. I don't
that's
think
why I
it was
said
necessarily.
it was an easier championship for the Lakers to win. There. How was it not?
How is it an easier championship?
Everybody has 4 months off, but you have the best player and the best 4 or 5 player in the NBA at the time, when healthy.
But I don't feel like that was like when we say easier, it's easier for the Lakers, but not like it was made easy. Like, how do I put this?
How do you not put this? Where are the Lakers right now, bro? They just microwaved the team. Do you know that? You understand
And that's
that, right?
another thing too. They
They
fucking completely gutted that team.
They microwaved the team. You understand that, right? To get that one ring, they microwaved the team. They gutted it. It's a microwave team. Like, okay, I want it now.
That team was had way more depth than it
Still,
did
but it
now,
still was
though.
a microwave team,
I
bro.
feel
How many
like-
picks did you give up in that just to get AD?
No doubt, but
so you can't.
but
you
even
can't,
then,
I'm not can't get my
no,
thumb
no,
is
no,
not
no,
gonna
no, no.
cover the.
But
the light in the room, bro.
even with what we gutted for AD, we still had a solid team, bro. Come on, bro. Like all these
Again,
players
bro,
that we can
that-
name, bro.
A short term. Remember,
we-
short term gains accumulate to long term losses,
I
right?
feel like we gutted more,
Right?
For
Right or wrong?
for Russell Westbrook,
Short-term gains-
Because who did we not
Okay,
bring
so
back?
that's what I'm saying. Short term gains accumulate to long term losses, right?
But at the same time, I'll tell you this, and just about any sport,
Do you acknowledge that statement?
and just about any sport, I'd
Brother, do
also
you
would
acknowledge that
rather.
statement?
I would also, but let me tell you this statement. I would also rather trade picks for proven talent. And it did get us a ring at the end of the day.
That's
Is
what I
that
said,
not
but
what
it's
we
a
want?
microwavable ring because now look, you got the Celtics about to tie the series, and they did it through the draft.
I just think that the Lakers also just kneecapped themselves.
Would you rather have
the year
Would you
after
rather
the
have turkey
championship.
dinner or a microwavable dinner?
I'd rather want consistency. They should have ran
So
back that
what?
team.
What could have? Again, if you would have acknowledged my
The
statement,
Dennis Schroeder
short-term gains accumulate to long-term
But
losses.
what short-term game was them not bringing back Dwight Howard?
The short-term game
was the-
immediate was
what was
the
the
ring.
Well, but what was the short term?
Then they could not
thing after
afford
that season,
the long term losses were when they could not afford to pay people because of luxury tax and X,
But
Y,
that-
and Z.
You know how that's such an oxymoron though.
How?
Because they're in the luxury tax right now for one fucking player called Russell Westbrook. So they could have been in the luxury tax for a more complete deep team that got you a ring.
But what are they doing? Again, this year they tried to go for a triple-headed monster in Russell, AD,
And I think
again
it
microwaving
goes
a team.
back though from what they did in the offseason.
That doesn't.
I remember that offseason, Dwight's like, "Oh, I'm coming back," and then it was like, "No, I'm not," and I'm like, the Lakers
But it's
they
not
should have
because-
brought back all those players.
Do
I
you
feel
know
like.
why he said that, bro?
Because his agent went and got another deal for him with Philly.
That's what you think it was, bro?
That's what happened.
No, it's not what happened.
Yes,
Guess
that's
who
what
they
happened.
offered more money to Dwight than him? Where's this guy at that they offered him more money than? That he only played for a year for us?
Who?
Montrezl Harrell. You see what I'm saying? You're forgetting things that I know these things. I'm just waiting for you to see what you're gonna unload on me. But I'm like,
My whole thing was just they should have just brought back that team.
exactly. But again,
And I just feel like
the statement I'm
Montrezl
saying
Harrell and Dennis Schroeder are not like those are just the. It's almost like
to me, Shooter's a better pickup point guard wise than Russell.
I mean, yeah.
If we want to, if we want to be honest,
I would say we should have just kept Caruso too.
but that's you couldn't do that because of the long term loss that you accumulate.
He was actually willing to stick around, and they just didn't offer him a deal. That's again dropping the ball. With those things, I have to put it to who Genie has put into power, and Rob Pelinka fucked up in those instances.
Because he's a microwaving guy, bro. He just wanted to make it quick. Again, because I feel Rob Pelinka is the type of dude that he wants the notoriety for himself as well. So he wanted to be the head GM of the league and get that accolade and that when it's like, bro, building the solid team is what gets you that, not wanting to get that before you've even got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't just, I don't feel, just seeing the Celtics in the playoffs right now and what they did and hearing the Kyrie story from his own words, because if you go on Twitch, he speaks to a group of people on 2K and he's always talking about his experiences. And he says how he left there because of a lot of organizational things, a lot of things are going on in his personal life and everything, that I can understand how like the NBA is structured and how it goes around and the business behind it and why they can't make it happen. But to be honest, bro, the Lakers got lucky, bro. And now I'm looking at it like
I
the
think
Celtics
they just capitalized it on that.
the Celtics to have made it through, like, bro, they lost Kyrie and then they still kept it. Then Brad Stevens goes into the front office and he still keeps this shit going right. And then they get this coach mid-season and he's still making shit happen, bro. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, what, 3-4 years in the league? Lakers had an opportunity to get Jason Tatum and they got Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
But, bro, just, I don't know, man. The Lakers really got to start. Bro, we got till the 27th, right, to get
Something like that.
2027 to get a draft pick. Shit, bro. The best thing the Lakers could do is trade AD for Orlando's pick and Chet, number 1 overall.
We'll see. But I think
I
that when it
would.
comes to these finals right now, or these NBA
Nah, I wouldn't,
playoffs,
nah.
the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion, is going to 7 games. We're about to see a sweep in the Western Conference Finals, and Golden State will be waiting for Miami or the Celtics. But in soccer, we have Mbappe that gave us a roller coaster of a ride. At first, he was verbally agreeing to go to Real Madrid, and then I had seen something going on where the PSG owner was talking about, what Real Madrid is doing is illegal. They're at each other's throats because of the Super League. The Super League.
I feel like Mbappe did that to raise his leverage. He did it to leverage to get PSG to pay him more.
Pay him more, and I think he's young. I think he should stay at PSG for a little bit while longer, and I think eventually he's gonna play with Real Madrid or he's gonna play in another league eventually. So he's gonna be staying with PSG until 2023 as of right now. And there was also a report that came out that Messi's going to buy 25% of Inter Miami and join that team in 2023.
I think it was 35%.
Okay.
But yeah, small portion.
Mm-hmm. a decent portion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. And it's just
In
ironic.
what year again? Sorry.
2023.
Sick.
So it's supposed to, it's gonna align at the same time whenever Mbappe's PSG contract ends. Di Maria played his last game with PSG after spending, I believe, 7 to 8 seasons there.
Damn.
He's done with PSG. I don't know where he's going next. Then we also have the U.S. men's team and the U.S. women's team have reached a new collective bargaining agreement, which is it's introducing talks of equal pay, but it doesn't fully has like
What, for Team USA?
for the soccer team.
What do you mean? We were hearing it when I was cutting your hair, and they said that it was gonna be men and women on the men's and women's national team. They were gonna get equal pay.
I've seen it. I was seeing one where it's like it introduces like it's gonna happen, but it's not like fully like it's happening. Like for example, this World Cup or something like that. But it is gonna happen where they're gonna split it 50-50, and it's gonna be supposed to be more equal. But it's just something that the way what I read, it was like they're initiating the talks of it to fully put it like in writing with numbers and all that stuff in that next collective bargaining agreement. So.
I don't know. I heard different, but whatever.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's just of when it's actually gonna officially take place. It's gonna take place in this next World Cup, and all these things. So that's gonna happen this November for the men's at least. I'm not sure if the women's happens simultaneously or like months afterwards. But at the same time, it's crazy. I was actually looking at like Thanksgiving week. We have USA playing England in the opening group stage. We have I believe it was the Thanksgiving game is the Rams versus this other team. I can't remember what team it is, but a lot of like just big games and a lot of big events going on Thanksgiving weekend this year. In addition to that, the Champions League's final I think is coming up this week, or if not next week, I think it's this week. Yep, tomorrow. Actually, they play tomorrow. Liverpool versus Real Madrid, at 12 p.m. Who you got, Enzo?
Liverpool. Salah's gonna take it.
And that was I think it was last time that these two faced either in the final or in the Champions League. Ramos injured Salah. Remember that when he pulled his shoulder out? It was when Ramos was still playing, and Ramos is now still at PSG. I don't know where the hell he's at. That guy fell off the face of the earth. But this is Manny's segment, so I miss Manny right now.
Well, folks, thank you for your time today. I'm just kidding. What else you got for soccer, right?
That's pretty much it. I mean, Real Madrid, it's kind of they're in the Champions League, but they lost their opportunity to Mbappe and to
I'm very uninterested right now.
Erling.
It's not Barcelona, okay.
Haaland. But yeah, till next time, y'all.
Peace. So huevo.
Have a good night.
Turn off we're in the recording right there, yeah. All right, our guest is here.